Hey, good afternoon, you guys. My name is Rahh, assistant principal, currently at Diego Rivera Learning Complex, Communication and Technology High School. I'm gonna quickly dive into this. This is actually my second take doing it. Not a lot. This is my third take doing it because my first two takes both went like the first one went 18 minutes, the next one went like 12 minutes. Paola was like, all we need is 5. So I'm going to quickly jump into this, all right? A little bit about myself. I'm born and raised in Compton. I have 11 years of school experience from starting as a teacher assistant to substitute teacher to dean to restorative justice coordinator, now to assistant principal. So I have a lot of experience in different avenues of my profession. In regards of where I started at, I thought I was going to be a rapper, a football player, devastating knee injury. In regards of rapping, I realized quickly I was not about that life and really came back to education. I went to Dominguez Hills. I got my Bachelor of Arts in Africana Studies. Then I went back and got my master's degree in special education along with my teacher credential. Then I went back again and got my master's in education with my administrative credential. And now I'm here. And I'll be going back to get my EDD from USC in urban leadership. Right. So jumping into some of the questions that Paola had, and again, Paola reached out to me and said, you know what, hey man, it'd be great for you to do a video on just some of the experiences you had and what you can do to provide some insight to future social workers. So excuse me real quick, I'm just going to look at some of the questions that our group had, and we're going to jump right in. Let me see my time. Okay, I'm doing pretty good. All right. So some of the questions are: what would be some short-term and long-term suggestions to combat institutional racism in an inner-city school? Short-term and long-term suggestions. Short-term is, first thing is understanding how to bend and break policies, right? As an assistant principal, I have not yet met a principal in our profession that have done everything by the book. It's almost impossible to run a public school system by the book, right? So you have to be able to understand policies and know how to maneuver around them. Some things is, for example, fundraising, right? Fundraising is I have a love-hate relationship with fundraising. My love is that it's a great idea because it provides an opportunity for low-income schools to try to earn money, right? And try to build revenue to do things like field trips, to do things like bringing in more resources, buying more technology, buying a position that's needed, right? But then the policy says you can't do fundraising during the day. You can't do fundraising at this specific time. You can't do fundraising for this amount of time, right? You only can do fundraising 30 minutes before school or 30 minutes after school. Well, we all understand. Research shows that a lot of students in the urban school setting do not stay after school. And research also shows that in the urban school setting, a lot of African Americans come to school late. So if you're fundraising before school, they're coming late. So you already can eliminate that. And if you're fundraising after school, they're trying to get home. So you're not going to be making that much money. So these type of policies is already built in, which that school is not going to be successful. So that's why I have that type of love hate. So understanding now, long term, getting in a position to change policy. So that is where I'm at personally on a mission to try to get in a position and share more knowledge and to collaborate with other future leaders to actually change policy for these type of changes to happen. All right. Can you tell us your experience and how you deal with real issues? Again, I have 11 years experience. I'm currently 29 as assistant principal. I worked in one of the most challenging middle schools in the nation. I worked at Markham Middle School, where I really got a lot of my accolades and a lot of my notoriety from. Really developing a program called Boys and Gentlemen with the local law enforcement, Keith Linton, where we work with these students from different gangs, right? I had students from the Jordan Down projects. I had students from Jordan Down Housing Authority. I had students from the Nickerson Garden Housing Authority. I had students from the Imperial Courts Housing Authority, and I had students from the Gonzaga Village Housing Authority. These 4 housing authorities are in their area. We call them the projects. These 4 projects had different students from different areas, different gangs at their stakes, coming together and building a community amongst them to increase student achievement and increase social emotional learning, which is really building that holistic view and servicing the holistic child, right? So that's probably one of the most important things that I deal with as a professional, is really diving into and understanding the world we live in, and understanding the history and understanding the current system and how it's strategically built for blacks and minorities to not be successful. So next question, because oh man, I'm a little bit past 5 minutes. What can we what suggestion do you have to us as future social workers to begin change? Really, what I would say is classes like this, but understanding oppression, understanding racism, understanding the current status of this nation in regards of racism, in regards of oppression, in regards of finances, in regards of education, in regards of mental health, and how all these things are together, right? And how do we combat this? We combat this with providing services. But what do you need to provide services, right? You need money. And how do you provide the correct service? You need awareness. And how do you get to all this? Proper intention, right? So we have awareness, we have intention, and we have what it's all about, finances, right? So if my advice for you is dive into a few things. Dive into restorative practices, all right? Go to iirp.org, and it's the International Institute of Restorative Practices. They will provide you with some free resources in regards of how to really better your practice with building empathy, how to better your practice with teaching resiliency, how to better your practice with building relationships, because relationships matter, right? And these three things will help increase your awareness, which will increase your intentions, your positive intentions on servicing those future people that need your services, right? So dive into restorative practices. The next thing is long term is get in a position to actually have a seat at the table for policy changes, right? So once you've done your pays your dues, right? When I like to say it, pay your dues. Now you work on the bigger picture. And that's the real systematic change of collaborating with others in different avenues that are connected. So collaborating with myself, collaborating with other social workers, collaborating with businessmen, collaborating with those restaurant owners, because all these things are together. These are stakeholders. That's why in education we have to collaborate with stakeholders so they have a seat at the table, because they have an investment. They have something at stake, right? So that's important. So you have to collaborate with that. All right, and last but not least, oh man, I'm over time, you guys. Sorry, I tried to get to 5 minutes. I'm at 8 minutes now. Again, you guys can reach out to me, Amen Rahh, amen.rahh@lausd.net. I would love to come in sometime if you guys would like. And that's it, you guys. I wish you nothing but the best. And I know you guys are going to just rock it. You guys are going to be doing so many great things. Paola, thank you again for allowing me to speak. You guys, I hope you guys all get A's. You get an A. You get an A. You get an A. All right, you guys.